Mike, I believe you had a message for the nice people out there.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Just wanted you to know that Y2K is still a problem. It's still going to happen. What happened was all the computer software was backed up only to the year 2000. So the things that are, basically we're running on fumes right now. We are running, every computer is running on fumes. Be prepared for shutdowns. Be prepared for the internet stop working. Be prepared for gasoline shortage. Be prepared for roving bands of cannibals. They only want to drink blood and other fluids. Y2K, I hope that, you've had more than enough. You've had over 20 some odd years to get your bunker ready. And I hope you have it ready. And if not, then, well, you deserve to die. I will be the warlord. I will be the warlord of the central sector.
I don't know that this is a good message for people.
You will bow before me. I control the water.
Are you? It's starting to sound like you're just describing Fury Road.
No, I will not. No, it's still going to be called I-35. In order for me to remember it, I'm pretty much going to keep all the street names the same, except for my neighborhood, which will be named after. It'll be Doctor Street. There'll be Strange Street. There'll be Dormammu Street.
So stupid. How dare you?
Agamotto Street.
Oh, there you go. Chandu Street.
There'll be the Ancient One Lane.
Oh, I thought maybe there'd be a boulevard.
Maybe. We'll see. There's a number of steps we have to get to first. But am I introing the fact that we are doing a best of episode?
Yeah, it's really just an old episode. It's not a best of.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm glad this is so smooth. I'm glad the plan to have Mike just set it up so people know what we're doing and don't get mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Y2K is a legitimate problem that has not gone away. But in times like this, it might be good to revisit one of our special episodes, one of the INS. It holds high in the INS canon. It's the episode that first revealed the nefarious doings of the Sasquatch and their, let's just say, predilections and the problems that they present to us as a society. And believe you me, good sirs and madams, once Y2K is coming, we're going to have a real Sasquatch problem on our hands. So be getting yourself some, I'm going to say chainmail, dress in chainmail because it'll be harder to rip off. Just be safe out there and welcome. This is a classic episode that we are bringing to you in order for Mark Ryan to finish his stint in rehab. He is at the Betty Ford Clinic.
Mm-hmm. A lot of methadone, a lot of Suboxone, a lot of getting right for Mark this week.
Yeah,
he was getting fed a lot of little blue pills in order to get these episodes done. Not unlike the lovely Miss Judy Garland.
Would you say, Mike, that this is the most called back to episode?
Oh, wow.
I would say this is probably the most called back to episode. This is
in the history of podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, probably that in the time Mark Maron was mean to Dane Cook. These are the two. So this is one of the most called back episodes. We hope you enjoy it. No. We demand that you enjoy it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to set you up. If you have heard it before, hear it again. And enjoy the growth that you've experienced with the IMS News team in over a year or so.
That would have been special if Mark didn't stab us in the back.
Well,
some people have, addiction is an illness.
Equine stool softener is an addictive drug. And it's serious enough that we put most of our Patreon money into his Betty Ford stay because we support him, despite all the ways he's gone out of his way to hurt us. And I think that's a lesson to everybody.
Right.
That the lesson being that support the people that are close to you, even if they're nefarious and stab you in the back, and that we are more magnanimous than anyone else.
Truer words. Truer words.
And we'll see you at the movies.
Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important queer news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
All right, so our first story comes to us from Fox News. I believe Brian's a big fan. It is called...
It's called Antifa is going to kill your grandkids. It's called AOC has a knife and is outside your front door in Corinth, Texas.
So the title of this article is Oklahoma Representative Introduces Bill to Create Bigfoot Hunting Season. The Oklahoma State Legislature meets every year beginning on February 1st. On Wednesday, a Republican representative introduced House Bill 1648. The bill orders the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Commission to establish a, quote, Bigfoot hunting season. The bill states, and I quote, the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Commission shall promulgate rules establishing a Bigfoot hunting season. The commission shall set annual season dates and create any necessary specific hunting licenses and fees. However, the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation was not pleased, responding to the bill with the statement, here at the department, we use science to make management decisions, and we do not recognize Bigfoot as a wildlife species in Oklahoma. The representative who introduced the bill is from an area famous for its Bigfoot sightings. In fact, this year they had to cancel their annual Bigfoot celebration, which brings...
Why did they have to cancel it?
Yeah, I don't understand.
No reason. Maybe not enough Bigfoot sightings?
COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Bigfoot got COVID.
Yes.
First of all, it's big feet sightings, so you guys sound like idiots.
I've looked this up cryptid sighting blogs, and it is
right.
Bigfoots.
No, so
isn't it Sasquatch?
I think skunk apes.
Or as a kid in junior high would say, Sasquatch.
That kid is that kid named Mike Wiebe?
No.
No.
That adult's named Mike Wiebe.
Hey.
Well, I don't think that we should, first of all, this is stupid because Bigfoot, as we now know, is a transdimensional being able to phase in and out of our reality. And that's why he's been not caught until now,
right.
and still hasn't been caught. But that is I believe that's what the big thinkers are saying about this skunk ape, about the
right.
Sasquatch.
So is anyone else troubled that the Conservation Commission is being ordered to set up a hunting season for an animal that I think we all could agree is endangered, right? We don't do that. Why not put the Bigfoot and all of its big feet kind on some sort of endangered list? You would get the same publicity by doing it, right?
Yeah.
I think that you're probably right there.
And then you could put Rodan on that list.
Here's the thing, though, is I just don't like the idea of someone killing Bigfoot for trophy. Like when we used to hunt Bigfoot, we would eat every single part of the Bigfoot.
No,
that's right.
Specifically,
toenails and all.
The Sasquatch was a delicacy. And sometimes we wouldn't even kill the Bigfoot before we ate that part, if you know what I mean. I read a thing in Wiebe magazine about
right.
this guy who came upon just a sexy situation with a Bigfoot and the Bigfoot woman's wife, a female Bigfoot. They ended up shaving that area, though. But did you know that?
Yeah.
That female Bigfoots are now shaving that area, so it looks like a regular Bigfoot, and then just a shaved patch and their Sasquatch.
That's hot. I think that's just hearing you describe it. So
yeah.
So what you're saying, Mike? Correct me if I'm wrong.
A giant, just think of. I mean, she can really, a female. They can really manhandle you, you know. And that word is even more true because you are a man, and she is not, and she can just manhandle you, you know, manhandle you. I don't know if you get what I'm throwing out there. Manhandle you out in the forest, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not a damn thing that you can do about it when this giant furry creature with a shave, with that one area of shave, she just grabs you and she just does whatever. Maybe all kinds of woodland creatures are watching you and laughing at you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Just
it's humiliating, isn't it?
It's humiliating.
It's so shameful.
Oh, just like a bunch of wolves just sitting there laughing at you. A bunch of wolves and a bunch of owls, you know, some foxes, and they're just laughing at you because they can see. Oh, because she just rips off your trousers, rips off your Wranglers, rips off your Ely button down pearl snap, rips it off, and you're just naked. And it's weird because she's covered in hair except for that one part, and you're just completely. So you look like a little shaved Sasquatch down there compared to her.
Those animals are probably laughing at your penis, right?
They're laughing. They think it's so funny, and there's nothing you can do about it. You try and cover up, but she won't let you. She pulls your arms apart, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's what the bill in Oklahoma is going for, is to make it so that's just a legal thing. And I'm honestly, I'm for it.
Right.
I'm for it. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that to happen, but if it does happen, okay. Okay.
It sounds, Mike, like sometimes you catch a female Bigfoot, have a little fun with her.
You have a little bit of fun with her. But in this scenario, she has a little bit of fun with you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You can. I mean,
that's really what I want to impart is when they catch you, there's nothing you can do about it. And those little animals, they just think it's funny, and you just gotta let it happen. And then before that female Bigfoot leaves, she's gonna mark you with her scent.
And just leave you there.
How does she do that?
Just leave you all worn, because it's not that she leaves you tied up. You're just worn out from the experience, and then she just marks you with her scent. A little extra, just a little extra splash of her scent.
Right.
And you go home and you try to wash it off, but guess what? You can't get it off. You can't get that smell off. You're just, you go and you put a bathtub full of tomato juice, tomato paste.
Well, they call them skunk apes, right? It's that scent, that musk.
That scent sticks with you forever. Forever. Right. I mean, not forever, literally, but it feels like forever. But sometimes, like a week later, you turn your head real quick and your hair whips around and you get a scent of it again. Or you put, you're going to put a little bit of Copenhagen from a beech nut in your lip, and you smell it on your fingers. You smell it on your finger. It's just there. So anyway, I hope that this law does pass in Oklahoma, so we know when the hunting season is. So when we'll know when those females might be out there, and we can avoid being tromping around in those woods, or we can know that's that time that might happen in the woods. Right.
Meanwhile, there's just some woman of size in Oklahoma named Abigail who lives in a cabin by herself, and once a year Mike comes tromping along. She plays the Bigfoot game.
So, if enacted, this bill will go into effect on November 1st, 2021.
Let me ask you this, and this is the most important question, and this is the question that I want answered the quickest.
Right.
When
This is gonna be
is
hard-hitting.
Bigfoot mating season?
Well, you seem to have the most knowledge about this out of
Right.
all of us.
It's whenever you pack your peanut butter sandwich in your knapsack and start walking through the woods, I guess, Mike.
I don't have knowledge. I just have an active imagination and a hell of a libido.
Assuming that I guess one of the questions is, are we related to big feet somehow? Is there a human Homo sapien big feet connection?
And you're specifically asking about this for mating purposes.
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, I wonder what would happen if we created a cross between. I mean, it sounds like you might have done it, but if we created some kind of cross between a skunk ape and a human, a hybrid,
Yeah.
would the offspring maintain the power of transdimensional travel? I think is a fair question.
I don't know. Maybe there are creatures that exist on a different vibration than us, and just occasionally when atmospheric conditions or ley lines are crossed, we can see them. I don't know why you're laughing. This is just science.
Just anytime somebody casually throws out ley lines, I think it's fun.
Have y'all ever seen a cryptid or a...
No. I mean, I saw a weird looking rat once. Maybe it was something different.
Where was
I
that?
mean, I guess.
What's that story?
Well, I mean, there's not much of a story to it. I was in the woods and there was an animal I didn't recognize, and I think that's. It seems strange.
Hey,
to
let
me
me ask
that
you this: did it have a shaved crotch?
It did not have a shaved crotch, and it did not overpower me. Those two things didn't happen.
Did you kind of wish it would have, though?
a little bit. I kind of just for a second.
That sounds like the type of rat that would just show up and laugh at you.
just point and laugh.
One time I saw, I don't know what it was, but it was this weird, it looked like a hairless kangaroo or dog. And it was weird. It was, I guess it was a chupacabra. I was in Southern California and just saw this thing. There's no way this is a true story, and it just kind of stops. But there's no way I can start it without it sounding like it ends up with me getting humiliated by it.
Right. And that chupacabra pinned you down. There's nothing you could do about it, Mike.
It pinned me down. And they call it a goat sucker, but it's not just goats. It's not just goats.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you've had the great fortune of seeing many of the creatures that have eluded humanity's gaze for
just the
millennia.
one. I mean,
and you've had the opportunity to have sex. And you've had the opportunity to have humiliating sex with all of them.
Well, I want to, yeah, sure. There's a few notches on my belt, but I want a full bingo card is my goal.
Got the Bigfoot, Chupacabra, maybe Old Nessie's next. Maybe you get a trip to Scotland.
I'm planning a trip to Scotland.
Swim across the loch, and who knows what happens.
Yeah, I have to get naked to swim. I just want to swim across the loch, but I have to get naked to do it. I mean,
hope no
otherwise
monsters see
there'll be
you.
too much drag. There'll be too much drag if I'm wearing swim trunks.
And those fish are going to be looking at you the whole time.
Just the fish just gathered up, just laughing.
Their fish laughs at you.
Oh.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
Can we please...
You want the next story?
Yeah, we need to get on from this.
Okay. So our next story comes to us from the New York Post, and the title is Gwyneth Paltrow's Vagina Candle Reportedly Explodes in UK Woman's Home. Gwyneth Paltrow, you're familiar? She has this Goop website. You're familiar with that?
No, what's that?
She's got like a website for the modern mother It has like, they have fancy candles and crystals and a lot of health stuff that doesn't actually work that gets debunked. She's spun it into a Netflix series that also a lot of people have debunked a lot of the things on it. And she's like the modern Oz, or the Dr. Oz for the new set.
But Gwyneth Paltrow is one of those people that like you're not supposed to like her. And I've seen her in movies and I'm like, she's all right in that. But then the more you find out about her, the more that society is 100% right. And she is an awful, unlikable, and she's not like evil, but she just is like the personification of rich privilege that makes no attempt to do anything other than just be awful. She was in a Spider-Man movie and she didn't even know she was in that Spider-Man movie.
What?
You know how much I want to be in a Spider-Man movie?
Probably a lot. I'm sure that you've thought about
is right.
How powerful Spider-Man is and what it might.
I want to be in a Spider-Man movie where he just wrestles me to the ground.
He's real powerful. He's a powerful man.
Well, actually, no, it'd be Dr. Octopus, and he uses all his octopus arms to just, I can't do anything with my limbs. I'm held down completely. Dr. Octavius stopped, but he doesn't stop. And guess what? The rest of the Sinister Six shows up, and they just start laughing at me. Okay, back to Gwyneth Paltrow.
All right. So I think I have a very accurate understanding of what this Goop website is based on y'all's description. Please continue.
Okay, so Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop website offers a $75 candle called, and I quote, "This candle smells like my vagina," which reportedly smells like her vagina. According to her online store, the candle's scent notes include geranium, citrusy bergamot, and cedar absolutes juxtaposed with damask rose and ambrette seed.
So what it sounds like, these candles smell like a skunk ape. What you get marked. They sound like the smell that you get marked with at the end of getting caught by a lady Sasquatch. I'm just saying, I want to be held down by Spider-Man. And I went to acting school for 2 years before I flamed out miserably.
Didn't you tell me when you were in acting school you met Randy Macho Man Savage, though?
I met Randy Macho Man Savage at my acting school. He gave me a Slim Jim and an autograph.
Oh.
You think old Vagina Candle can lay claim to that?
So apparently she was working on a scent with her perfumer when suddenly she blurted out, "This smells like my vagina."
That's like giving yourself a nickname. You don't get to claim something smells like you.
Yeah, it just
happens to be geranium and cedar and bergamot. Bullshit. It's fishy story.
It's also, I can tell, even though I wasn't in the room, that she thought she was being very edgy and randy when she did it. Like, I'm the first person to say something like this. He. And all her little sycophants in the room, just like, Gwyneth, you're so funny, Gwyneth. Oh my God, I can't believe you went there. And then she tied him up and she just made fun of him.
She laughed. And that candle maker just laughed at him. Oh, and lit those candles and pointed at
I don't want to come off too mean about Gwyneth Paltrow, so don't let me be too misogynist.
It's not her fault.
But I don't like her. She's not a good person.
Well, is she even in movies anymore? Like, is she act still?
She was in Spider-Man.
Well, not recently.
And
She was in Iron Man.
She was in Iron Man.
Iron Man. That was years ago, guys. Like, what has she done?
I think she was in that last Avengers movie.
She was in the last year. She was in Endgame.
Unfortunately, last week, one of these vagina candles burst into flame in a London living room. Jodie Thompson told the Sun newspaper, "I've never seen anything like it. The whole thing was ablaze, and it was too hot to touch. There was an inferno in the room." A Goop spokeswoman told the New York Post this candle wasn't purchased through their outlet, so they were unable to verify its authenticity, but they alerted the candle manufacturer of the issue and, quote, reached out to the woman to send her some Goop products to help her pass the days in quarantine. The woman responded that it could have burned the place down. It was scary at the time, but funny looking back that Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle exploded in the living room.
Somebody has a business card that says Goop spokeswoman.
Yeah. Everyone. I'm done with all of them. They're all dead to me.
Yeah, these are awful people.
Nobody's getting the vagina candle except to giggle and like and be. It's like that right. TV show Real Sex on HBO. Like you think that there's going to be something sexy about it, but it turns out it's just a bunch of just women and fucking men giggling at the word penis and vagina. And I don't.
Yeah. So Mike, I want to ask you, you just mentioned that watching Real Sex, I'm sure that's, something you've seen before, and you watched adults laughing at the words penis and vagina. I'm wondering if that's something you saw when you were really young.
I was a real little kid, and I saw them laughing about it. I thought, man, that would be awful if they were laughing at me.
Right. And I'm sure at the same time, there was a little bit of maybe breaking the rules a little bit. And that was kind of exciting when you were a kid, right?
Well, it was confused. Yeah. Cause I was had to sneak out and I had to keep the volume real low. I had one hand on the channel changer, just in case my parents came into the room. So I felt naughty. I felt like I was really being a bad boy.
Your body was going through some confusing changes, I bet, at the time, right?
It still is. It still is right now.
You're trying to put words to what was happening.
I am confused about what my body's doing constantly.
I'm just trying to connect the dots, Mike. I'm trying to understand.
No, I don't. I never considered any of that, but I don't think that has any bearing on it. All right, let's get away from. I don't want to ever talk about Gwyneth Paltrow again.
All right, our next story comes to us from the DCist, which is a Washington, D.C. news website. The title is Activists Plan to Give Away Marijuana at COVID Vaccination Sites in D.C. The activist group DC Marijuana Justice announced this week that they will offer a free bag of marijuana to those receiving the vaccine for COVID-19. They call this giveaway, quote, Joints for Jabs.
Man, back to Joints for Jabs. I hate an alliterative tagline, man. That's just.
Well, I'm sick and tired of people saying cheers to me, and now I'm gonna have to hear jabs now too. More bullshit British slang being brought across the pond. So some dipshit Washington D.C. know-it-all can somehow feel cultured because they have a cartoon view of what British people are like. Sucks. Brilliant. Cheers. Jabs. It's a fucking shot. It's a shot.
It's a shot.
It's a shot.
Joints for shots?
In America, we get shots, not jabs.
Shots.
That's what that song's about.
Mm-hmm. The song's about getting vaccinated.
It's a pro-vax song.
Yeah.
It was completely mischaracterized because the anti-vax movement went after it.
So they're giving away free weed. I mean, that's fine and good, and it's cute, but I mean, there are people in jail for weed right now, and it's just like, and now it's like a mint that you get. It's a lolly. It's a lolly for being a good patient.
So the group hopes to highlight the need for further cannabis policy reform at the national and local level, while also bringing traffic to the city's COVID-19 vaccination centers. Locations and times for the Joints for Jabs giveaway will be announced soon, but they hope to set up stations just outside of vaccination centers. The group's co-founder, Nicholas Schiller, says, should I do Nicholas Schiller's voice as a stoner, or should I just do it as my voice?
Are you sober right now? I thought you were blazed out of your fucking mind.
The group's co-founder, Nicholas Schiller, says, we are looking for ways to safely celebrate the end of the pandemic, and we know nothing brings people together like cannabis.
Yeah, it didn't bring me and my folks together in high school, I'll tell you that.
Did they smoke it with you?
No, they did not. They bogarted that shit. But now in an ironic twist, I have smoked pot with my birth mom. She loves this stuff, turns out.
Right.
And then I remember doing that one time and going, this isn't right. This can't happen.
Well, how old were you when that happened?
40. Not for real. I was like 41. So, I've only known her for
probably
like
not the same impact. A different kind of impact, right? Maybe more of a positive impact.
My dad one time did offer to go out hunting for Sasquatch pussy, but
you knew it was a trap.
Yeah, I knew it was a trap. I didn't take him up.
What would it have been like to have your dad pointing at you naked and restrained?
Even
Is that too much?
even for the bit, for the joke, I can't go. I can't deal with that. I can't take the bit there. It's too much for me.
Just saying over again, Michael, you're in so much trouble when you get home.
Oh. It's so weird that I get squeamish despite that,
Right.
it's
the middle putting the fingers over your eyes, right?
A 9-foot tall trans-dimensional being, but like, oh.
Michael, your penis is such a disappointment. Oh, man.
Come, farm animals. Come, woodland creatures. Let's laugh at him with me. Look at this fox father and this wolf father that are also ashamed of you.
They share a father's shame of their son's genitalia. Well, whatever gets you off, I guess, right?
That's where, I don't know.
There's a line. Even if it's an imaginary line in an imaginary world, it's still a line, and you don't want to cross it.
Yeah, you can't see it because it's a ley line.
Oh,
I don't want to cross that ley line.
So I feel like we need to get back to the news.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so
you have a role in this. I think it's really clear, and you need to get back to the news.
Mm-hmm.
The group also hopes this giveaway will bring out members of the cannabis community, many of whom are skeptical about non-cannabis-based medicines. Co-founder Schiller added, "When enough adults are inoculated with the coronavirus vaccine, it will be time
I'm happy. Continue in that voice.
Dude, I like the voice.
Do the whole thing in that voice.
When enough adults are inoculated with the coronavirus vaccine, it will be time to celebrate. Not just the end of the pandemic, but the beginning of the end of the cannabis prohibition in the United States."
So these people are so skeptical of today's medicine that if you just throw a quarter bag at them, they're all over it.
100%, all of them. Yeah, it's weird too. Like stoner culture. It's like the Doors. It's like they're kind of a good band, but their fans are so goddamn awful that
the worst.
That it's like Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candles. They smell gorgeous, but the people that like them are just insufferable.
Right.
I love it. It smells gorgeous. It smells so good. It smells like the musk of a skunk ape, and I love the smell, but I can't stand where it's coming from. I don't like, it's hard to support that. It's just that thing when sometimes fans ruin a perfectly good thing, like the Bible, for instance, is a good example. That's a pretty hard hitting, like, ooh, Mike told the truth, kind of.
Yeah.
Whoa. If there are any stoners listening to this, they're going to be like, whoa.
Right.
Oh, right. Man.
Somehow people whose life revolve around smoking dope somehow believe that it has also made them more interesting people to everyone around. Like there's this weird, I guess, personality that you get.
Yeah.
That somehow your crookedly hung Jamaican flag with a weed leaf on it has something to say about you that is both interesting and important for the world to see.
It is so lame. It'd be like for instance, I really like Thai food, but I don't decorate my entire house with pictures of Thai food. It's
Right.
Like,
What do you decorate your walls with?
pictures of Sasquatch.
Sasquatch in various states of repose.
Drawings of woodland creatures pointing and laughing.
That's right.
Okay, but what's the next story?
Our next story comes to us from Birmingham Live, which is another city news website, kind of like the DCist in the last story, for Birmingham, England.
Oh,
that's pronounced Birmingham.
I'm sorry, for Birmingham. So the title is Graves Caving In at Cemetery as Badgers Tunnel Around Coffins. Graves at Birmingham's Yardley Cemetery are reportedly caving in. They're caving in because of burrowing badgers. The Birmingham City Council found badgers had caused, quote, significant damage to the 64-acre cemetery, some parts of which are now at risk of collapsing. Badgers have destroyed entire family plots, and some residents are calling on the city to remove the animals. The city has responded by taping off the damaged area and putting up signs saying, the ground within this area is unstable due to badger activity.
Can you
please be vigilant?
Yeah, that's not the accent that would be read in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you're going to read a quote,
let me get my cousin from England on the phone and
put on a monocle, and you'll get the voice.
That's right.
The ground within this area is unstable due to badger activity. Please be vigilant and proceed with care. Unfortunately, badgers are a protected species in the UK, and a request to remove the animals was denied by the UK government. The burrowing has gone on for over a year. One mourner complained, the problem was bad enough last summer and before Christmas. Now it is out of control. I know they are a protected species, but who is protecting our graves? I dread the day when we see remains being unearthed.
I think that will be the best day of your life in your boring gray country. I think you'll finally have a good time on that day. You'll have something to, at least to talk about other than your badger problem. You know what, though, for real, my friend was in the UK one time and was at a pub, because that's what they call bars there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was getting a pint, which is what they call a beer there.
Oh.
And one of the guys said that there was literally, it is weird, this story. He was like, there's a badger problem out there. And then the guy said, like, my friend said, oh, there's badgers nearby. He's like, oh, blimey, there's stacks of badgers. Stacks of badgers.
Blimey? Is that...
I might have added the blimey because I don't. Oi, governor! He probably said governor. Governor!
Right.
There's stacks of badgers.
Hello.
Hello. Here's my favorite British thing. And there's like, I've got three British voices. There's, oh, sir, please, may I have a please, sir? And then there's like a beetle that's like, and then it's more Swedish. But I like the British guys that just go like, it's the only voice you can do and not say a single word, and it immediately reads British. Like, does it? If I did that and we weren't talking about British stuff, wouldn't you immediately imagine a fat white guy with giant white mutton chops,
with a tweed vest and a derby?
Yeah, a tweed vest.
Mm-hmm.
Very flustered as well, I could tell.
What do you have to do? I mean, I can't imagine. I can't think of an American guttural noise that reads American like that.
Well, now I'm thinking, Mike, that's an excellent question.
I have to figure this out. We'll continue this next week on the next episode.
Yeah.
I think there should be silence
a two-parter.
As we all think about the
we'll be back in
sounds
a moment.
An American might make.
Yeah. If you're listening, write in.
We don't actually have an email set up or a website.
Call me personally. You know my phone number.
And if you want to submit your own drawing of an erotic skunk ape.
Yeah.
Please do.
What would a British skunk ape sound like?
Michael, you've been bad. Michael, you've been very, very naughty. I'm going to hold both your arms and use my ape feet to hold your legs and do awful things to you. And then this British guy would walk up and go, jolly good.
This is something.
All right. So the city stated, I've got 2 more sentences to read.
Okay.
So the city stated, we are working with relevant agencies so that all graves in the affected area are protected and the situation can be resolved as swiftly as possible. Of course, winter is the season when badger cubs are born.
Of course.
So even more badgers, perhaps stacks of badgers, may be burrowing through the cemetery in the coming spring and summer.
How big do you think badgers go down? I mean, do they
go down all the way.
Oh,
what? He's back. That guy's back. What are badgers like? What are badgers but just the Hill Country Fair generic brand Wolverine? Is that right?
Yeah, well, British badgers can be aggressive, but aren't like, they're not like, they won't like come after you unless you're like in their territory or threatening their cubs. But American badgers are fucking crazy, are basically like Wolverines.
I don't understand why they're protected in the UK.
I don't think
if
they're a
there's
larger
so many
mammal. I think they can be aggressive, so I think they've been hunted. I've got a picture here. I'm going to drop into the chat a British badger, and then next to it, I will drop in a picture of an American badger, and you guys can compare.
The British badger, yeah, it looks like a character.
Yeah,
in The Wind in the Willows.
He would, be kind to Beatrice Potter.
He might not laugh at you during your Sasquatch.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, that American badger! Look at that.
Oh shit!
Oh my God, look at those claws.
He's super flat too. Why is he so flat?
Yeah, that's the kind of badger that just laugh at you.
He's like he's in mid laugh, right, Mike?
Yeah, he's going. Ha, ha.
Oh wait, I found another one. Hold on.
Look at that little thing. What are you going to do with that? Nothing. That's what.
No, the animals we're talking to.
I can barely even see it. Let me get out my magnifying glasses. I like the American badger because it looks more cruel.
That's right.
How do you think the British badger would speak, Michael?
It's minuscule. Well, we really did it, y'all. I think those stories are.
We went down a journey of sexual depravity, and that was about it. So
yeah, there's a real common theme on this one.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.